Plymouth Housing provides housing for the most vulnerable people in our communities, people who have experienced homelessness for many, many years, people who are struggling with managing their medical conditions and behavioral health needs.
I worked as a teacher, raising 5 kids, always had a place to live. So being homeless was sort of devastating for me. Being outside a lot, I noticed that I was getting sick and I was getting weak. I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma cancer. My mental health was deteriorating because I couldn't focus on the illness for worrying about being homeless.
We believe in housing first, and that housing is the path to stability.
That first night was like, wow, I got a place to stay. Now I knew if I could do the things that the doctors in the hospital were requiring of me, I couldn't do that being homeless. I couldn't do that walking the streets.
We know our philosophy works because 97% of our residents stay housed. Plymouth Housing has 17 buildings in Seattle serving 1,200 people.
Plymouth Housing is such a great place for seniors. I'm very excited that they're opening another place called the Blake House for seniors.
It was quite a fortuitous event that we were able to partner with Bellwether to build Blake House.
Bellwether Housing is the largest nonprofit owner, developer, operator of affordable housing in the Pacific Northwest. There was this incredible piece of property owned by Sound Transit in the densest neighborhood in the city.
First Hill is very central. It's one of Seattle's oldest neighborhoods. It's also home to our biggest hospitals. It's near not just to transit, but to services, to stores, to schools, including high schools and universities. We need more housing in these densely populated areas in order that every person can have access to opportunity.
Plymouth, who had been looking at this site for a development for some time, approached us about partnering to build something bigger than either of us could have done by ourselves.
Bellwether and Plymouth submitted a strong, aggressive plan to build affordable transit-oriented housing at this location.
We were so excited that Sound Transit decided to give us the land for free.
That Plymouth and Bellwether have brought us a model that can work at scale is, I think, a breakthrough, and one that can then be replicated elsewhere.
Our work is really rooted in collaboration. We can't fix the homelessness crisis by ourselves. No one entity or organization can do that.
This is a way in which we can all be in community together.
This is the first high-rise that's been built for this purpose in over 50 years.
When it came time to name the building, we were really excited to name it after Blake Nordstrom.
When I received word from Plymouth that this building would bear Blake's name, I was overwhelmed. To him, affordable housing held the key to breaking the vicious cycle of homelessness and poverty. The prospect of Nordstrom volunteers participating in the establishment of Blake House would undoubtedly leave him humbled and filled with pride. He firmly believed in the inherent worth of every individual and recognizing their fundamental right to a secure and stable home.
So the building is 17 stories. The first 5 floors are the Plymouth space, Blake House.
There are 112 units at Blake House. We will primarily be serving adults who are 55 and older, many of whom are veterans. Most of the rooms are accessible, which is great, given that this is a senior population, which means they can age in place. We have a community space, a computer space for residents to use. We have a rooftop terrace, which has beautiful views of Seattle.
Floors 6 through 17 are the Bellwether space, the Rise. We have 250 units there, affordable to households with incomes at or below 50 and 60% of the area median income.
The location is so critical for this building because we're right next door to Swedish for medical and behavioral health services, and also we're on Sound Transit land, so we're close to transportation.
Housing is one thing, but to have the help after you get the housing,
Good to see you. How's that?
the case management, the nurse and doctor, a place where I could get a ride up to the hospital made it possible where I seen a chance of remission.
Swedish is going to be a critical partner, both on-site and in the clinic, because we are prioritizing people with health needs. If needed, we can accompany the residents across the street to the residency clinic.
Plymouth Housing really looks at us as a whole person, not a person with difficulties and problems and situations.
We're trying to show people that when we start with people, we get possibilities.
Plymouth Housing listened to me, and they helped direct me to what I wanted to achieve.
My hope for residents moving in is that they find a place they can call home, a place they feel safe and can be themselves, to feel supported, and to start imagining a different future for themselves.
Plymouth may not have saved my life, but they saved everything to make my life.